Hey everybody, my name is G Brown the Lifestyle Changer, and I'm doing an interview today all by myself. Right. I have a young lady that's coming on, Misty J, and I am so listen to the things that I want to talk about because I was sharing with you guys prior to that I went to school, I finished up my nutrition class, and to become pretty much certified to be a life coach for this diet. So I'm really honing in on the diet those first 30 days. Well, in order for me to do that, I needed uh, some people to go along this path with me. And so my friend, we were in business together. That's how we met. And so here's the things that I'm going to find out from her. I want to know her introduction to this diet. What was it that I said or did that made her want to come on? We're going to talk about her transition period. We're going to talk about her early experiences. We're trying to keep it for the first 30 days though. We're going to talk about her meal planning, her physical and mental well-being, and any learning adjustments. So, without any further ado, here is my boo. Hey, everybody,
Hi.
this is Misty J. I am so honored. Listen, guys, when she reached out to me, this is the thing that we said that we were going to do is this
Mhm.
interview. And so I'm so
Yes.
grateful. All right. So one of the first things, let me make sure I have the comments up so I can see. One of the first things, what made you reach out to me?
Oh, seeing your results for sure. Knowing you personally and seeing the results of you and Frederick. Frederick's, we'll talk about that, I'm sure, but Frederick's story caught my attention. And then your physical appearance caught my attention. So both of those things piqued my interest. And again, knowing you personally made all the difference in the world for me.
Okay. So let now you've reached out. You I think in the beginning you kind of wanted to hear, but and you did want to try it. I know
Mhm.
you had already kind of convinced yourself, and so it worked out perfectly because I was
Mhm.
in the process of doing this as well. And so take us through. I mean, what ailments did you have? You saw my physical appearance, but what
Mhm.
was it? Because you're speaking also to some people who are just kind of looking and wondering, should they? Is it worth it? Oh, that's all I get to eat is meat. You
Yes.
understand.
I do. I do. I understand completely. Well, I knew I was on board for 30 days. So I had that mentality of I'm at least going to do this for 30 days. I was 217 pounds and just feeling, well, just feeling how you feel at 217 pounds and 5'4", and never been that large, even with my pregnancies in my life. Swelling my ankles. Like I remember telling you, I just want to wear capris and feel cute, but my ankles are just embarrassing to me. Swelling everywhere, like in my limbs. You put a ring on and poof, everything just swelled up. Um, I, in 2020, had to have 6 blood transfusions because I don't make iron. My body doesn't make it. And then taking iron supplements, my body does not have a good reaction to that. And it's almost better to deal without the iron than to go through what I would go through taking that supplement. They had to find a special one for me that was really expensive. And eventually they found one that my insurance would take, would not cost me $400 a month. And then I could take this iron supplement. You need iron, everyone. And I wasn't making any. And especially as a woman, going through the cycles that you go through naturally, blood is a vital component, and my blood was not great. And again, 6 blood transfusions to be able to trick my body to make iron. So fast forward to beginning this 30 days. I was 217 pounds, had chronic swelling, in my opinion. Um, I was an iron deficit and was dependent upon supplements to keep that where it needed to be. I could, however, absorb the iron finally and not get super sick, but I had to take it, I had to space it out. I had to find out how many days before I would get sick. And I had figured that out. So I was surviving, but still. And then, I was addicted to sweets. Gee, I could not eat. If I ate something, I had to have a sweet to follow it. And I had never been that way. And so when you and I talked, I know I wanted to do 30 days because I just wanted a ground zero. I wanted to know there was no processed food in my body. I wanted to know there was no sugar in my body. And I literally you have to starve. I'm a pastor, so I'm going to say this the way I want to say it. You
Mm-hmm.
have to starve lust. You have to starve it. You cannot just
Mm.
wink at it. And so with this, I had to starve the sugar cravings. I had to go without, and I had some accountability. That's what I got through you, my friend. But also just having someone to report back to. And I don't know if you want me to tell my results or do you want me to wait?
You oh that I
I'll let
mean
you
it's up
guide
to you.
me. I'll let you guide
Okay.
me. But yeah, that is where I began. And that iron was a huge health concern.
Mm-hmm.
Allergies, which we're still working on. Um, not the greatest sleep in the world. And this is what I will tell you. This is a little tidbit I'm going to give everyone into the future of my journey. But I love coconut cream pie, and I did have a slice. And let me tell you, the aches in my body and in my neck. I told G I didn't have any adverse effects. I started waking up and I'm like, why my neck hurt? What's wrong with my pillow? Not my pillow. And got through the next 72 to 96 hours. And guess what? I'm sleeping like a queen again.
Mhm. Mhm. I know, I know. My and so coconut cream pie will be your forever story because barbecue sauce is mine. It
Hmm.
was one of those, it's this little bit, and you just had no idea. So I know for me, I think about the times that I wake up, um, and how I used to wake up, and it's like, oh my God. And you try to think, what did I do last night? It could be a buildup, it could be any of those things. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So now you have these different things. We reach out, we talk, and we had our go day of what we're going to do. Did you have what preparations did you feel that you needed to make? What about family? Talk. How did you handle that?
So my husband was on board 100%. Now he was not going to join me,
Hmm.
but he definitely was excited about saying his wife eats only meat. Um, that was a thrill to him, and he was supportive 100%. So that I did have, which you have in Frederick as well, and to another level because Frederick actually did it with you, but David is 100% on board. So that was helpful, and then getting the things out of my house that would cause me to look at and feel like I said, you got to starve it. So just winking at it in the fridge every day is not going to, it's not, I didn't have the willpower yet. And I knew that. So, took your list and went shopping, got the things that I needed to make sure that they were on hand. So I wanted to be ready day one.
Hmm. Talk
So
about
yeah,
how you wean yourself with that coffee too.
okay.
I thought
Yes.
that was a genius.
Well, and I thought that was me trying to, I was just trying to take it easy on myself. And I'll be honest about that because I had drank coffee for decades. I mean, just I get up and I have coffee. And so I even try to say as a pastor, it's in the Bible, he brews Jehovah Java. Like I love my coffee. So anyway, and that needed to go. So what I did is I had some real loose leaf green tea. And what I did is I took that green tea and I brewed it and I made a full cup like this. It might have even been this cup. And the green tea was kept in here. No sugar, no honey, no anything. And in the mornings for those first few days, however many days it was, I don't remember, but I would pour a little bit of that in a cup. I would heat it up in the microwave. I would hold that and I would drink that green tea. And then I told myself, when this cup is gone, then that's it, Misty. You're not going to be drinking no tea, no coffee, no anything. And that did help me transition off. And I never had the first headache. And I've never done that with coffee.
I thought that was remarkable too. And I said, hey, that's something I'm going to pick up because whether it's coffee, tea, um, some people it's soda, you
Mm-hmm.
have that one. And once that is gone, then that's it, because I feel and you when you think about how you used to go on a diet on Monday, honey, Saturday and Sunday, you were like, wait a minute, I need to eat this because I ain't gonna be able to have this. And we start
Uh-huh.
stuffing and stuffing, not realizing that you got to detox from all of that you're putting in your body and then to
Mm-hmm.
go from there. All right. So, what was some of the early experiences? Now, I can say for you, we'll talk a little bit about fasting because fasting is actually part of your ministry, your life period.
Mm-hmm.
And so, whether it is the food, the coffee, whatever. So, uh, in the beginning, and we'll talk about chicken. In the beginning, chicken, our inside joke. Oh my God.
That is, yes,
Um,
that is our inside
yes.
joke.
And so with that, how was your first week? How was it? That's how you wean yourself with the coffee and tea. And so now, and I think our carnivore tea, bone broth, whatever you want to call it, I think that
Yeah,
helped out as well. So how
absolutely.
did you feel with that? And how were you feeling?
The first week, oh, definitely. There was a little, there's withdrawals of things. You're actually surprised because I thought I was like, I got the coffee kicked. This is fine. But you start to realize, especially as your body starts to release some of those toxins as waste, and it was really eye-opening to me. And early on, I could tell, like, yeah, there's things I will not introduce back after 30 days. I'm going to be rid of this. I'm not going to go through this again. Um, and when we did get to the broth, making the broth and adding the butter, and I had the bacon grease set aside, and I started to understand that my body needs fat. My body was craving fat. And I didn't talk to you about this, but I even had memories of being a little girl, and they would be making steaks on the grill and different things, and I would want that fat, and they would tell me no, but I would sneak and snitch it because it tasted so good to me. And then you're kind of conditioned to think that's so gross. But as I was going through, say, that first week or 10 days, I was brought back to that. I was like, as a child, my body knew what it needed, and I began to be very in tune to what my body is saying to me. Your body is a
Mhm.
wonderful creation designed by God to do these things, and we have been conditioned to turn that off and ignore it.
I know, I know. I feel now that anything that they're talking about to stay away from, then
It's almost
no.
like run to it. Go
I
buy
know,
all
I
of it.
know. Red meat, go over there. Saturated
Yeah.
fat, go over there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so now you are, I remember because you and I would Marco Polo pretty much every morning
Yep.
and sometimes throughout the day. And then, and I was, and plus you get up at like, oh, dark 30 before the birds even start chirping. And so when you would get up, I didn't know. You shared with me, like later, you say, I felt fatigue really bad on one particular day, but you are not a complainer. So you chucked it up.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
just went with it. And so how were you able to plan your meal or with your husband because he didn't join you?
Hmm.
So what was
That was
mealtime like?
Yeah, so mealtime for us was fine. I would just prepare the meat the way I needed it, and then David would have his extras around it. That didn't bother me because I was so satiated. I was satisfied. that's what I was amazed by, is I was so satisfied. And keep in mind, in the beginning, I was at 3 meals a day. So I was eating a little bit of bacon, not a, well, it was a little bit, because I also had to figure out that to eat a little bit more. I also had to figure that out because I wasn't a big eater. I didn't get big eating a ton of food. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I had, so
Mm-hmm.
we really, I mean, I'm blessed because he loves hamburger, he loves steak. The way I was preparing the steak, he's just like, oh, that's so good to me. And we were having chicken um, in the beginning. But, I just prepared the meal, and his extras, I was happy to prepare them for him. And, but I also had a goal in mind, and in the beginning also that was easy because I knew at 30 days I would, to me at that time, it was like, oh, I'm going to do this for 30 days and then get back to eating the things I like, not necessarily the sugar and things like that.
I know. I think everyone has that particular story. I can go and watch
Mm-hmm.
some of our YouTube videos, and I can see where, because when you're like openly saying, I eat only meat, and you are surrounded, and I'm not talking in a physical circle, but everybody, wait, you don't
Yeah,
eat any fruit, vegetables? You know,
right.
how do you know? And it's so it's crazy to them. Um, unlike if you say you're a vegan. Now sometimes they say, well, how you get your protein? Well, you they done turned around and came up with ways in regards to that. For us, it is, what about your cholesterol and all of this versus, look at my health, look at what's going on with me,
Mm-hmm.
and tune in to that. And so I did love the fact, for you and David, where
Mm-hmm.
uh, he supported you. I remember there's times where like he was at the store. I think he went to like 2, 3 stores for something that you wanted one time. I was like, this
Yep.
man, I love him. So even though he wasn't there, and you guys, your plates were matching, he still wholeheartedly supported. But, but he did some little tiny changes. Tell us about that.
Yes. So, so I drink water from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I'm always down in the water, and I don't, and he picks up water for me by the case each week because I won't drink it out of the tap. I need one of those things. So anyway, he started buying more water, and I was like, "Well, I'm not drinking that much, babe, but thank you." He said, "No, I'm drinking more." And I started to notice. He said, "I'm starting to crave water now." And he is a pop drinker from sun up to sundown, and it's now Coke Zero, which we all know about that, but it's now Coke Zero. And he told me, it was a week or two ago, I think it was very recently. He said, I'm drinking more water than anything else now, Misty. I'm actually craving it. He said, and I'm down to one Coke or a half a Coke Zero a day. So, you know, it's just the little things that I see. There's no, like we used to have little Debbie's. We used to have, I buy him all kinds of snack food because he's a snacker. And he does all the grocery shopping. So I'm noticing now, I'm looking in the pantry, I'm like, there's no little Debbie's in here. There's these peanut butter oat bars he wants from Aldi. That is it. And then he'll have me make him from scratch some brownies, from scratch some cookies. No more store bought, which I think from scratch is, I mean, that's a step in a better direction. But it's much less than before. And he gets a lot of beef because his wife eats a lot of steak.
Very, I know, and I can't wait for us to double date. Um, so let's talk now about the mental.
Mm,
Any clarity? What has been the mind? Because I can say, one of the things that I asked of you, but I feel it's part of your personality anyway. I was like, document like how you're feeling after this, where you can start making the connections. Because we did talk about that coconut pie, and you were like, I really didn't have any issues. So evidently,
mm-mm.
right after that, You
Yes.
started noticing, because that's one of the things. Stay in tune with your own body. So when you are, this is a time you really have to listen. uh, I'm not relied on the doctor right now. Of course, I go, but at the same time, I'm so in control of this body now. Oh my God,
Mhm.
and it's remarkable. So share, how is the mental going through for you?
The mental piece has been, the fogginess is gone. That piece is gone, and you don't even realize how thick the fog is until it lifts, because even when you're driving, your eyes will adjust. Like I said, God has made our bodies so wonderfully that, that they're prepared for fog and mist and dew. But even just that picture kind of resounds in my mind of, you didn't even know how dense the fog was because you were just so used to navigating through it. When I wake up, I can pop up. I don't need a few minutes to get my wits about me. I might need to get my balance a little bit. That's always been a thing. But I'm just ready to go. And then my sleep, I can tell you that when I sleep, it's so much more sound and I feel so much more rested, but I also need less hours of sleep. And like G said, I get up so early anyway. I have to make sure I stay up a little bit. I can go to bed at 10 and be up at 4, and I feel great. My body just wakes me up. But mental clarity has definitely, it has improved. And I can tell because, G and I have talked, and I'm sure we'll get to it, but I've added a few things, not much, but a few things. And I can tell when I've had too much of something, because that's one of the first things that, besides the aching in my neck and shoulders from sleep, that's one of the first things I can tell is that, okay,
Mhm.
yep, no, I'm having to focus too hard right now. It's amazing.
I know. I'm getting so excited. See,
Yeah.
you and I, of course, we've talked, but we've really tried to save it for this moment. And I'm getting excited over you, of what you're saying, your answers,
Yeah.
and everything. I think for me, the biggest part, I shared this with my husband. I said, Misty got it, because
Mm.
there are a lot of people. I mean, think back yourself. There are people that started keto. Uh, uh, Heck, before I was a vegan, there are a lot of things that you start. And even when you start introducing other things back, first, you're going to gain your weight back. And then you have these different ailments, but never made that connection that it had to do with those foods that you cut out. So you're,
No, because you've heard your whole life that as you get older, you'll start to have this, and this. And that is just not, it's absolutely not true. This is proving to me that it's absolutely, I don't have to accept that as I get older, my body will deteriorate. I can
Mhm.
remember Joseph in the Bible, his latter years were greater than his former. Well, what was he eating?
Okay.
He wasn't eating what we are. So,
Yes. All right. So it sounds as if your 30 days, we had some ups, we had some downs, but I think you pretty much stayed focused on the
hmm,
connections. Yeah,
I did.
it's yeah, because I would turn around and I said, make sure you're writing that down, writing it down. So it's something that you can share later. So now let's talk progress, because I want to know about the ankles and the pain and that everything, girl. Go ahead. Give us the wait, no, first, how long have you been doing this? I forgot to
Oh
say that.
gosh. So today is February 1st. I started October the 8th. So that's November, December, January. We're almost 4 months.
4 months. Isn't that something?
Four
So
months
in
on the 8th.
4 months, yes.
Mm-hmm. Um,
How is it?
uh, it's wonderful. I have added some, we've talked about this. I'm a saucy person. So, but I still have a canister of guacamole. I haven't even used it all. It's almost mental sometimes because I'll have it on, I'll have put a little piece on my steak and just barely dip it. And for some, it just makes me great. Um, but in the 4 months that I have been doing this, and we're fixing to take it to, well, today begins taking it to the next level, but I started out at 217 pounds, and I am now 184.2 as of this morning. A 16-18 in jeans, extra large, some XXLs in shirts. Keep in mind I'm 5'4", and I am now 184.2, so I've lost a little over 30 pounds. Is that right? And I'm really not focused on that number anymore. That number kept
Oh,
me going in the beginning. Um, but now I barely think about it. And I'll go check just to see, because I can tell you there was a time, and G can attest to this, that I was like 194, 195, and it wasn't really moving. I wanted to get to that 190 mark, and it just wasn't moving. And but those few pounds, that difference between those few pounds was bigger than the rest of the 30 pounds. My body changed more within 2 to 3 pounds of loss than it did in this entire 30 pounds or more that I've lost, meaning my pants shrunk. I'm now in a size 12 to 14. It really depends on how the jeans are made, but the majority of my jeans that I've bought, Temu ladies, because I'm not spending a lot of money right now. Temu for the jeans, size 12, and they're fitting. And I have not been able to purchase jeans from anywhere, mail order, online, that fit. There's always something too tight or crazy. But the way my body has changed, my ankles no longer swollen. Now, if I were to sit for 8 complete hours just typing, I do an office job, I will have some swelling, but I think that's pretty much gravity. But no, there, I can touch my ankle bones. I was touching my hip bones this morning.
not the hip
Um,
bone. Hey.
I know. I was like, wow, a couple more, I'm looking to lose. I want to be 150 at 50 by April 4th. So I don't, I'm really not worried about the number. I think that is just in my mind, it's like a goal. We'll see where I am on April 4th, but that was the goal, 150 at 50. And I'm, and I haven't taken an iron supplement since October the 8th. And
There
I
you
went to
go.
the
You went
doctor.
from
Hold
4 infusions. Oh my gosh. Hmm.
So I went to the doctor because what was wrong with me? I had a cold or something. No, I had that kidney stone. Remember, I got a kidney stone, so I had
Hmm.
to go do a follow-up. And he said, well, while you're here, we're going to do all your blood work. It was the end of the year, so everything's covered on my deductible. I was like, that's fine. And the report came back that I am iron rich.
Come on, Rich.
Iron rich was the words that he chose to use. So, and I
That
still
was
haven't
two
taken an
things.
iron pill.
That was two things that you talked about in the beginning. You said that if I get to the end of this and just don't, and my body can actually make some iron, I would just be happy with that, because you have no idea
Mm-hmm.
the transfusion, and you were going, it was coming from your heart, how you were explaining this, and it was like, yeah, that sounds like freaking miserable. And then the other
Mm-hmm.
was the ankles because of the capris. But I think the iron was the number one.
Number one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yep.
to find out that in less than 4 months, you are iron rich. Come
Mm-hmm.
on now, iron rich. All right. What else is it? Because I might have forgot something. What else that you want to talk about, that you want to share? Yeah, answer that first, and then I have one last question. I'm gonna let you get a little lunch break in.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Because I'm not hungry, remember? So I am a one meal a day now. And, and that I just have, again, I'm listening to my body. So, somebody will ask me, what are you doing? Because now people are starting to notice. Now people are saying, you look great. And it's so funny. Nobody ever came up to me and said, you look fat. But they come up to you now and they say, you look great. And that is, and I want to give you a rebuttal for just in case, just in case someone comes to you and they're kind of thrown off. I eat only meat and they're worried about the cholesterol. Don't be mad at them, but say, hey, you didn't say anything when I was getting big. So how about you let me do this while I try to correct my eating habits? Because now I'm getting smaller, and there will be that day when somebody says, "Oh, maybe you're getting too skinny." No, you didn't come to me when I was getting too big, so don't come to me now that I'm getting it right, because I'm listening to my body. I don't know what size God designed me to be. Um, I have a healthy relationship with food. Like I said, I'm to that place where I'm not going to deny myself if I'm going to try a little bite of something. Like, what did we do at the baby shower? I had a little cake pop. Remember that? You just
You didn't even eat the
kind
whole
of
thing though.
set yourself. I don't, yeah. Um, because it was so daggone sweet, your taste buds will change. That is another thing for me, is things that I thought I just loved. I'm like, bleh. It's too much. And I love being at this place because I wanted to be at that ground zero. I wanted to be where I'll introduce things and then take note of what it's doing to my body. What is my but one thing at a time. And that's one of the things that G said to me. She said, if you're going to add stuff back in, because she knew that I wasn't going to go completely carnivore. I don't know what you call it, what I am, because I don't eat enough of the other stuff really to take me not carnivore, but one ingredient foods. And my big one ingredient food is I love a baked potato slathered in butter and salt. And that does not mess with my body. My body accepts it. My body says fine. And so that's one thing I know I can add to the side if I really want it, and it's not going to harm me. I love being in tune to how my body reacts to food. Like I said, God created our bodies and they are intricate and they are wonderful. And He's given us, your car has a service engine light, and so does your body. And when you take 30 days to do this, and I'm going to say this because G won't, you need her as your coach. You need the person who's going to come, and she will be honest with you. She will be upfront with you, and she'll be straight with you. And you're going to need that. You need like a Jillian Michaels in your face telling you, you can do this. You know, you don't need anybody that's going to sugarcoat anything for you, because your body's going to be a little bit up in arms in the beginning and kind of yell at you. It's kind of going to be angry like a toddler that you've taken something away from. But I'm telling you, on the other side of that, if you can just get that through that 10, 12, 14 days, maybe, that it just depends on what you've done to your body. I'm telling you, on the other side of that, you're going to be so amazed, and you're going to love your body again. I was embarrassed the first pictures I sent you, and the last ones I sent you, I'm not a beach model or anything, but I was a little more proud of those, because your body will change. And let's face it, as women, we do want to look appealing. We do have a physique we want to have. And more in my clothing, listen, I got through 6 black trash bags and sent them all to Goodwill this week. That's how much. David's like, I was like, I love this cardigan. He said, Misty, the seam is almost to your elbow. You can't wear that anymore. Like, the changes that I've seen, whether they be physically, whether they be my mental health, or whether they be how I feel when I see Misty in the mirror. So,
I
did
love
that
it.
answer you?
I love
Okay.
it. That did. That did. I love it. And I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be part of that journey.
Well, thank
I
you for
know for you and
sharing.
yeah, I know you and I, like I said, Marco Polo, ask any questions. Even Frederick would chime in. And
Yep.
to know that my friend, we're going to be kicking it in our 90s. Well, if you 90, I'm 100.
Hmm.
So get ready. Get ready.
Yeah. Thank you for being a friend, Golden Girl.
I love this. I really, really do. And thank you. Thank you for seeing something in what it is that Frederick and I was doing. Uh,
Mhm.
Thank you, Marvin. Marvin says hello from East Texas. Go carnivore for life. Stay positive in life. Yeah, it is, and it's like I thank you so
Amen,
much.
Marvin.
Um, I I love and appreciate you whether you were doing carnivore or not, and you know that. But for
Mm.
someone to know me, know of me, and see how I've struggled, and especially if you were in my presence on more than one occasion, and I would, oh God, I remember I have a young lady I worked with, and I remember her walking in my classroom, and she threw her arms around me and hugged me, and she had no idea that she threw my back out. I screamed so
Mm.
loud, but I had to lay down, and I wasn't gonna lay on the floor. So I had moved everything and laid across my desk. And I was crying, and I looked up, and all the kids are looking at me. I'm like, what y'all looking at me for? The assignment is up here on the board. And I was teaching from laying across the desk in such pain. And it's like, um, that's just one thing. If I got ready to sneeze, I had to brace myself up against a wall. I would push so I could sneeze and not throw my back out. The restless leg, it went on and on and on. And for me to tell people now, I have none of that, not some of that. I have
Yes.
none of that. The medication,
I have no
everything,
restless leg either. That is something.
yes, and to have none of that, and for me to share with someone to say, listen, it's a process. You've been eating everything that you want. You don't want to deny that flesh. I understand. But now you're in control. So here's the thing: the few foods that you have picked back up, like you said, you do a little guac, but it's not like you didn't cover all the, how we used to eat before. If I'm going to smother something, it'll be smothered in butter and salt. I mean, I'll do that. If
Yes.
I want a hint of cheese, I'll get a little bit and just stir it around where you just get that little piece of extra flavor, but nothing. And then
Mhm.
you got your listening ears on. By morning, how does the body feel? And it's like, okay, try it consecutive days. And then before you know it, I went to stand up. I was like, oh, I'm a little stiff. Uh-oh. Yep, got to back off. And so I'll leave it with this. You are joining me um, on the lion diet for the month of February. We were talking, Frederick and
Yes.
I was talking about it yesterday on our show. We talked about it Monday on the ladies panel. All of them are doing the lion's diet. And so here we are. And I will say, and I think I said this in a Marco to you, because at first, at the beginning of the month, I was fasting. Here's the thing. I took in so too much uh, cream. I hit it heavy for like one whole week. I really did. And so when I actually started the Lion Diet on the 30th because I said, if I'm going to eat something, I might as well go ahead and stick with what it is that I was going to eat. I couldn't fast on the 30th. When I say to you, the withdrawals are even different for me. It wasn't the typical how it feel a little head. No, it wasn't. I told my husband, I said, I got weak immediately, and that's not good for me with what goes on the inside of my body with a reduced size stomach. So I
Mhm.
started my hamburger patty. So this is day 3 for the lion diet. No eggs, no bacon. I did do my beef broth that I have. I even shared on the show my tallow that I used when I smoked some meat. I saved that tallow and I whipped it up. So that'll be my extra on my burger, on my steak, or
Mhm.
whatever else it is that I do. I can get a spoon of it and mix in some hot water if I choose to. Uh,
Yes.
excuse me. So yeah, and so I'm excited about these next 29 days.
I am too.
Yeah, and we're just we're going to be healthy, and that's like the best thing. Hold on, let me see here. I got a QQQ. Misty, is G as crazy in love with a person as she is out here? She said, "Am I as
Even more
crazy and
so.
lovable?"
Even more so. Even more so. What you see is what you
Yeah,
get with G. Oh, 100%.
yeah.
She
Thank you, girl. I
doesn't
don't have time to.
turn it up or turn it down. She is the same wherever, whatever room she's in, she's the same.
Oh, I love and appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. I love this. So
Okay.
your give your last of it can be however you choose to put it together. You talk to those people that are kind of on the fence and know they need to do this. Go ahead. Talk to the people.
The time is going to go past you anyway. So you know in 30 days that thought's going to come across your mind. I could have done that. So do this with us. Reach out to G, connect with her. She didn't ask me to say that. I'm telling you, grab a friend to do it with you. It's 30 days. And if you choose at the end of 30 days to do something different, you can, but give yourself the option to know whether your food is causing the problems that you're facing in your health. Because if you're eating the standard American diet, you are facing something. Right now, as we talk, you're facing something and it's caused by food. The only way you're going to know if that is true is if you do the 30 days and pay attention to your body. Your body will tell you, I promise.
It is. It is. And in the description of this video, there is a questionnaire. Questionnaire. It says if you need help with the first 30 days, fill out that little questionnaire, and then I'll send you back a menu and stuff of what Misty was even talking about. Even though I'm having it revamped right now, because I think some people have filled it out and I haven't sent it off yet, is because I'm having it fine tuned even more. But if you're ready, then I'm ready to work with you as
Yeah.
well. So thank you so much, my friend. I love and appreciate you. And one day
I
we
love
will
you
talk
too.
about all of the stuff that we have in common. Listen, Misty was God sent to me. Um, how we met, it's like right after it was actually a live. We were doing a live, and then once the live ended, I think we were
Mhm.
on the phone we were on there till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
just felt like I've met a lifelong sister. I've met a lifelong friend, and you have always been
Mhm.
that. And I love that you are a you don't leave. And let's say this openly: if something is said or spoken, and maybe you misunderstood it or anything, I love how you don't let stuff ride by. You try to get clarity and understanding and set things straight and then just move forward. And I love that. You and I, we don't get stuck in a position. It is, hey, when you said this
No.
one, oh, well, this is where I was coming from. And it's like, oh, okay. And then there you go. And that is an excellent quality to have versus, people just coming to an end. So
Mm-mm.
thank you, thank you, thank you. If anybody has some additional questions, if you're watching this later on the replay, go ahead and put them in. And like I said, most of the things that we've talked about are down in the comments. Even the what I have some electrolytes down there. Girl, I've been doing, I don't
Mm.
know if you've seen it, the castor oil, rubbing my body down with it. So it's quite a few things down there in the links. All right. Hang in there, Misty. I love you. Bye, everybody. See
Mwah.
you
Love
guys.
you.